The man secretly poured out the beer in his hand. Pretending to be drunk, he lent his car to an old classmate. Then he placed a tracker under the hood of the car. Casually, he wanted to play billiards. He stared intently at his phone. Whenever the car moved, the alarm would go off. At that moment, he would immediately call the police and report that someone had stolen the car, but the car didn't move at all throughout the entire night. He was disappointed that he hadn't caught the hit-and-run culprit from his previous life, but he was grateful that it had prevented a car accident dispute. Unexpectedly, the next day, a villager came to smash the car. In a frenzy, the villagers accused the car of having run over and killed his wife and son. The man couldn't understand that his car was completely still. Why then did a car accident occur? At that moment, the old classmate, just as in his previous life, began accusing the man of hit and run. The man took out his dash cam and watched the recording. He indeed saw that the car had hit 2 people. This left him in disbelief. Just as the villagers grabbed the man, intent on making him pay for his actions, the fiancé immediately produced surveillance footage. The man thought to himself that he had been playing billiards all night yesterday, so his face wouldn't appear in the surveillance video. But in fact, his face did appear. At this sight, the villager grabbed the chainsaw from the corner. Frightened, the man hurriedly intervened, saying it wasn't him, but no one at the scene believed him. The old classmates speculated that he had been drunk last night and didn't remember what had happened. Warned him that drunk driving and hit and run were even more serious crimes. His fiancée also urged him to turn himself in as soon as possible. However, the man insisted that he was not the hit-and-run culprit. To prove his innocence, he planned to go to the police station and file a report. Unexpectedly, in a panic, his old classmate and fiancée deliberately held him back, not allowing him to leave, thus giving the villagers the opportunity to kill him. Fortunately, the man had just noticed a chainsaw placed in the corner, and in his previous life, he had been killed by villagers with a chainsaw, so he preemptively removed the chainsaw's battery. This prevented a tragedy from repeating itself. He heard from the villagers that the accident occurred at 11:05 in the afternoon, just as he was about to provide an alibi. His fiancée suddenly said that he hadn't been home last night. The man stated that he had been playing billiards last night and that his friend could testify for him. They had been playing billiards together since 9 o'clock last night. Upon learning that the man had an alibi, the old classmate seemed quite displeased. He immediately asked if the man had left the billiards hall at all last night. The friend thought for a moment and said that he had fallen asleep early and didn't know. Taking advantage of the situation, the old classmate smeared the man by alleging that he had gone out to commit the crime during that time. The man explained that his friend had gone to sleep at 11 o'clock. It was impossible for him to have reached the scene of the crime within 5 minutes. The old classmate accused the man of constantly influencing his friend, when in fact his friend wasn't even sure what time he fell asleep. Moreover, the man had deliberately injured his face to create a false impression, to make everyone think that the driver in the surveillance video wasn't him. After hearing this, his friend felt that the man might indeed be the culprit. At that moment, the villager impulsively wanted to kill the man. To prove that his friend had indeed fallen asleep at 11 o'clock, he planned to go to the billiards hall to inquire with the owner, but everyone was worried that he might seize the opportunity to escape. The village chief suggested calling the billiards hall owner. The owner said that the billiards hall surveillance system had long been broken, and that the friend was also aware of this, but his friend had not informed the man that the surveillance was broken. This made the man suspect that the one truly trying to harm him was his friend, because his friend had always been jealous of him for making money in the city. And moreover, his friend's father was the village chief. If the two of them, father and son, were in cahoots, no one would suspect them. At that moment, the old classmate and his fiancée continued to persuade the man, urging him to quickly confess and apologize if he truly was the culprit. The man still wasn't sure exactly who was trying to kill him, so he resorted to one final method to prove his innocence.